Welcome to the More Gems show. It's good to be back. I'm Steve Moriarty, your host. And with us tonight are my two sons, Michael, who's in charge of this production. Hello, Mike.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us again. We're happy to be back.
And Jeffrey, who is our chat moderator tonight. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, glad to be back. It's what been? That's 2 months?
2 months, yeah.
2 months. Everybody's missed us so much.
I know.
I'm sure. But it's good to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so we have a lot of great stones tonight. I think everything but two stones are things that we've got here in our shop. So got a good variety and some unusual material. So tonight, where do you want to start? Talk about next month?
Yeah, we can talk about where we're going next month. So we may, I guess we are going to still have a show, but where are we heading?
We're headed to Bangkok, Thailand. Bangkok has a major show because Bangkok is a major cutting center. They have been for many years. Back in the early 1980s when I was buying in Germany, I finally decided that a lot of the stones I was cutting in Germany were actually cut in Bangkok, and that led me to start traveling to Bangkok. And I traveled there for about 20 years, and before Africa kind of took over my interest. But I always said that leaving Bangkok probably was a mistake because it was an easy place to buy. They were developing a really good cutting industry, and but I enjoyed Africa, and it really got us where we are today. So heading back, partly because I think it's good for Michael and his future get to know these shows. Because
I think so too.
Yeah, yes. Because there's two shows we're going to. We're going to Bangkok, and then from there, a week later is the Hong Kong show. And the Hong Kong show is one of the biggest shows in the world. Maybe the biggest show in the world, and features all the Asian cutters and manufacturers, which, Asia, including India and Hong Kong and China, control a huge part of this industry. So we'll go there and just see what we can find out. I've never been to the Hong Kong show, so should be interesting, and I think we're going to learn a lot on this trip. And hopefully buy some things that we haven't been able to get. Africa has kind of left us with particular types of stones that are available there, whereas Asia, much like what we do, they travel the world and they go every place to find stones, and they're just a major cutting center. So it'll be interesting. We'll be able to get some things that maybe you haven't seen, which we'll feature on our next show.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that we find some of those new moonstones from Madagascar for a reasonable price. We started seeing those in Tucson,
but they weren't reasonable.
No, they're a little bit more than we were willing to go, and but they were cool. They're all faceted, and they were neat. But,
it looked interesting, something new. And we bought some moonstones, and, I got over my price shock with moonstone because I used to think of moonstone as being something you buy inexpensively. But when you get into the rainbow colors, they do get to be pretty precious.
So before we continue onward, I think we should say what's up to some of these people in the chat. It looks like there's a lot of people talking. So you want to chat moderator, see who's out there.
A lot of people coming. We got two Marias, one Maria from, I think, Connecticut, one from Vermont. Oh, Marie is from Vermont.
Maria from New Hampshire.
Wow.
Let's see who we got. So we got Tracy from Madison, Wisconsin, right over the border in the Midwest. Amber right down in Indianapolis, not too far from us. Come visit us on a Tuesday or Saturday when our showroom is open.
Saw somebody from Muncie, my
BSU,
my alma mater, Ball State University.
Oh, man. There's Dana Lynn. Our sister's in the chat.
Hi, Dana. I assume Nancy's out there somewhere. Say hi, Nance.
We got Dewey from Connecticut.
Cool. What's up, Dewey?
We got Eileen, of course, is here. Thank you.
Hey, Eileen.
Eileen. We got
From
Phil
the Bahamas.
here.
What's up, Phil?
Colleen from the Bahamas.
Aka from
From the
Chicago.
Bahamas. Nice.
Kalo from Brazil.
Oh,
All
sweet.
right. We should go to Brazil sometime.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been there.
Boa Norte. Is that Portuguese? I remember you learning Portuguese when I was a kid. That's the only phrase I remember, if I'm saying it correctly. John from Durham. Joel from Houston. Electric Crystals from Los Angeles. Vicky from Texas. Mima from Massachusetts. All right. Excellent.
Man, what a great group. Thank you guys all for joining us. And if anybody's out there that hasn't logged into their YouTube account or Gmail account, do so, and you can hop on that chat too, and we'll see what you got to say.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Should we get into how this works?
Yes.
I know there's a lot of you regulars there that are watching again, so you probably already know how it works, but a lot of new people here. So to kind of give you an idea, throughout the show tonight, we're going to be showcasing brand new gems that we haven't released yet until now. Many of those cut by Master Gem Color Steve Moriarty here. And they're just some amazing pieces he's been cutting. And we're going to showcase them tonight. You're the first ones to see them, and you'll be the first ones to be able to grab them at a discounted price. So tonight's all the stones shown here will be at least 15% off using the coupon code August. Now you can go to MoreGems.com. That's where you purchase it. There's a banner, green banner right across the top of the page that you can click, or there's a huge banner right on the homepage that you can click. And that's going to take you to the category of all the gemstones we're talking about tonight. Add it to your cart, put in that coupon August, and it'll take 15% off. Then you can either pay with credit card. We also have PayPal, and we have financing options as well. So many different ways that you can purchase those stones. Lastly, throughout the show, as the regulars know, we do have these hidden gems because we know a lot of people purchase the gems before we even talk about them. So hidden gems they won't be shown until we talk about them. And those you'll get 25% off with the coupon code RARE25. You don't have to remember that. We'll remind you when these stones come up. But for now, all the stones shown, 15% off with coupon code August.
And to see those, they're going to have to refresh.
Yeah, if you're already on the page, there's a link above the chat. Or if you're already there, hit refresh and all the gemstones should now show up. And if you like something, jump on it quickly because it happens every show that 2 people, 3 people sometimes go after a stone and only one person gets it. So these are all one-of-a-kind gems. So that's all we have.
All right. So the pricing you'll see on the site, there'll be 2 prices. One is the basically the appraised price, and we get that using the Gem Guide. It's a market-driven, independent pricing guide where they go to all the shows and they price with the wholesale dealers and come up with a price. And they create this guide, and we talked about Rainbow Moonstone, and here's a pricing guide for Rainbow Moonstone. So this is a wholesale price, and then they have a recommended retail markup, and that's what that price will be. The second price in there is what we typically sell our stones online, and then from there with August you get 15% off that price.
We got a question right off the bat. People looking at stones already. But KT wanted to know the Portuguese tanzanite. I don't believe that was cut by you, was it?
The Portuguese tanzanite, yeah, that'll have been cut by me.
Okay. It's not stated on there. We usually state it when because Steve cuts most of these. But
yeah,
KT,
I think only 2 things. There's a big tanzanite I didn't cut and a pair of blue zircons. So other than that, everything we cut, Michael cut one and Linda cut another stone, but everything else I've cut.
I think in the group, there's also a tourmaline, a green tourmaline, and I think it was called the Mermaid Tanzanite. I don't know if you cut that one.
Yeah, I did.
You did cut that.
It's a recut.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
both
perfect.
those. Yep. Had plenty of time in 2 months to get 30-some stones done. But so.
And we have Josiva. I probably butchered that, from Madagascar. Told me you've been there before.
Yes, and love to go back to Madagascar. My favorite country in the world, for sure. Yeah, Diego Suarez, I've been there. Yeah, that's up north. So, very cool. Yeah, I've been to a sapphire mine there. I just can't remember. The names are so long, but, it was an interesting trip, a scary trip. Yeah, my scariest trip ever anywhere. We didn't know if we were going to get out of there safely or not. But other than that, Madagascar is just amazing. Yeah, I really love Madagascar, and hopefully we'll make it there sometime. All right, should we get started? Okay, up first is a Montana sapphire. This stone comes from Rock Creek, yes. So Rock Creek is not the El Dorado bar. It's another source of Montana sapphires. And most of these are heat treated. This stone's been heat treated. But it's a good thing because most of the material that comes out of the Missouri River there's such a low percentage that has anything but green color to it. Most of it's just green. I mean, there are some great colors that come out of there, but a lower percentage. And unfortunately, they don't heat like this material from Rock Creek, where most of it is heated. And heating typically improves the color on the stones, gets you more blue coloration in them. So this is really a beautiful stone. In different lights, it'll be much more green, and then when you go to daylight, it'll be more blue, even more blue than you see here on the screen. So almost a color change, definitely a color shift in this material. So nice trilliant, weighs a carat 64, very clean stone, VS1 clarity. Appraised price on this $24.60. Our price online $15.90. And with the 15 off, it's $1,351. Just really nice brilliance. It comes out to $824 a carat. So. Nice gem. Yeah, it cut real well. I think this stone I had more problems with than any stone in the last 6 months. It just popped off the dop 3 times. And every time it pops off the dop, you lose weight. It becomes difficult. And even I put this down for at least a month. And then just last week, I finally went back to it and thought, hey, you got to finish this thing. It's just these smaller stones. When you glue them up for your cutters out there, if you're using epoxies, and if you end up start cutting into that epoxy, it's easy to break the bond when you do that. And that's the issues I had. You end up running into inclusion. You got to cut it smaller. You cut into the epoxy and it breaks loose on you. So, but really nice gem. So up next is really an unusual color for tanzanite. I think maybe I've had one other lavender color like these before, but this is pretty much a new supply that just came out recently. And so we had a sale on something.
Yep.
Out there, yes, it was this stone.
Oh, very cool.
Yes. So Phil picked up this lavender
tanzanite. Surprise, Phil.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
Nice.
it's a cool gem.
Yeah.
This material, I just got it last month. And a friend of mine that we've traveled to Tanzania together, he ran across this material. For about the first 10 days of his trip, he had just very difficult luck. We were looking for a big stone. He did find me one eventually. But the prices over there were just crazy. He'd tell me the price of stuff. I go, there's no way I can pay that. But finally towards the end of the trip, he hit some of this fancy color rough. and one big stone that is in the show. So really nice stone, really pretty color, and just really a unique color for tanzanite. So, all right,
Cool. Thank you, Phil.
All right, and our next. All right, here's another tanzanite I cut, and it's really a great stone. The shape came out great. You know, you always, these fancy cuts, you worry about the brilliance of the stone, and it really worked out really well. You know, I sacrificed a little bit of material to get total symmetry on the stone. You know, and one thing that's remarkable about this gem, what you're seeing there that looks violet, that is red flash. This has a huge amount of red flash in it. You know, just in intense color and remarkable red flash. So this one weighs 5.70 carats. My rating of 993. It's really a near perfect stone. You know, just totally clean. It's 55% blue, 45% violet. And like I say, just huge red flash in it. $6,500 is the appraised price. $3,850 is our price online. And with the 15% off, this comes out to $3,272 or $574 a carat. Yeah, it's just a beauty.
And for those watching, you want to show them a size, maybe on your hand. We forgot to get the hand out with us, so
darn it, we forgot the hand. So
you see the red flash there.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. So nice gem. So we'll see what the future of the tanzanite market is, and it'll be interesting to see in Hong Kong because there'll be a lot of Indians, and Indians cut probably more than half, maybe 3/4 of all the tanzanite in the world is cut in India. So it should be interesting, you know, and we hope to see some other cutters over there, find some good cutters, either that can cut for us or supply us some stones that we don't get in Africa or we can't regularly find. You know, that's there's a limit to how much you travel and where you can go, and the availability of variety is something that's important. But finding somebody that cuts it right is the other key. You know, because cutting just has become so important in the industry. But still, most Asian cutters have not figured it out yet, and still cut for weight, retention, and not for brilliance. So.
And I also wanted to mention, because there's a lot of new people here, I don't think we mentioned this in the beginning. While we're selling these loose gemstones, can you tell us a little bit about the custom jewelry process that's available?
Sure. So we do our custom manufacturers, you should be able to see on our websites. And we have 3 different websites: TanzaniteJewelryDesigns.com, MoreGems.com, and MothersFamilyRings.com. And much of the jewelry on there is designed in-house. My nephew's our designer, Christopher Michael. And for any of these styles, we can design pieces for you. Just tell us what type of jewelry you want. If there's styles you like, you give us an idea of what kind of things you like, and then we'll try and produce a design for you. We do it all in CAD, so it's relatively easy to make adjustments to it, and you know, we have very good success in finally coming out to a design that you like. And once we decided on a design, we can give you a price to make that piece and make adjustments to suit your price or whatever. So, and there's no obligation all the way along the way, you know, until you say yes to that's what I'm after. You know, you're not obligated to us at all, and we'll continue to work with you as best we can and to make a piece that you love.
All right.
So,
and if you guys are enjoying the show so far, please hit that little thumbs up button down below. And, always, if you're new, you can subscribe to the show, and you'll be notified when we do these new live shows and many of the new gems and jewelry that we release throughout the month. So, all right.
Up next. Oh, and it's our first hidden gem.
Jeffrey, the first hidden gem.
All right. So let's show you. Let me go back here and add this hidden gem. So the hidden gem, as we talked about before, is only shows up when we load it up, like right now. So if you're on that page where all the gemstones were that you're able to look at, just hit refresh and this new stone will show up.
So this is pink tourmaline, and actually the new gem guide, the price of pink tourmaline was one of those that went up fairly significant. This is interesting material because this stone I actually bought in maybe 1991. It came from Nigeria. This particular stone had an unusual brownish pink color, and actually came out of a repair box. It had a chip culet. So it's been around for 40 years. I don't know how many years that is, but a lot of years.
Not quite 40. I was 4 years old.
Okay.
So maybe 33 years.
All right, 33 years, a long time. But anyway, I recut it, and looking at it, I thought, let's heat this stone. The risk of heating these stones, they had a secondary brown to them, and I've heated some that actually turned more brown than pink. But fortunately, this one came out pink, and I was thrilled. And, it just really came out to be a nice, bright, cheerful gem. This one goes back so far that my brother could have cut it originally. And he probably did, back in the mid 90s. He was my primary cutter. But it came out to be a beautiful gem. It's not flawless, but pink tourmalines rarely are, because pink tourmaline is in a category 3 of GIA when it comes to clarity. They just typically are included. There's not much in this, but there is a little bit in it. Mostly eye clean. As you can see in looking at it, this camera pretty much won't hide anything, but there are a couple of inclusions in it. But a beautiful gem. It's a appraised price of $32.30. $16.25 is our online price, and with the 25% off, this stone is $1,219 or $244 a carat. And this is interesting because I actually was going through my rough this week, and I ran across another piece that was a big preform. And again, it was that brownish tone. And this one had a little more brown. So I did throw it in the oven, and I'm actually going to go back and get it here shortly. I'm assuming it's not going to be a good outcome. I'm hoping for a good outcome, but I'm assuming it's one of those that doesn't heat so well. But I'm going to go back and check it right now.
For those of you who haven't already, if you want to like, subscribe, and share the stream, that'd be great. Well, Steve's got the stone. I'm going to...
Yeah, the color's good. It did have an issue. It did fracture a little bit, but it's still a good stone in there. I'm happy with the color. So you can see the fracture there, but that'll cut out and leave me a good, clean piece. So this is another piece that's been around 35 years. It was so brown that I didn't think there was much hope for it. I say this is just a preform, hasn't been cut at all, just roughed out. And, that fracture is one of the risks of heating these. But really, the color came out great, and it's going to be another 10 karat plus stone. So it's a valuable piece, and it looks like a really pretty color. So I'm thrilled. I just assumed it was going to be brown coming out of there. So another good pink tourmaline, and the gem guide says pink tourmalines are worth more currently. So that's all a good thing. Yeah, I'm happy. All right, that's the next gem.
Before we go into that,
okay,
can we answer some questions?
Sure.
All right. Again, if you do have questions, anybody, just log into your YouTube or Google, log in, and there's a nice lively chat going on, and you can post questions there, and I'll cut Steve off and ask those questions for you. Okay, so one just came. Delilah wants to know that piece of rough that you have. What's the carat weight of that?
What piece?
That piece of.
One I heated?
Yeah. Just to give them an idea of size.
I got it stuck.
Give us 1 sec. Steve's weighing it.
It's 45 karat.
45 carats. All right.
So maybe there's a 15 karat in there, which is cool. Yeah. Yeah, probably a 15 karat. So it was a good evening.
Okay. John Jones arrived late. He may have been napping along with James, not together, but separately. You know what I mean. They both were napping. But John came in late. And
forgive my son.
You know what I meant. He wanted to know how gemstone prices were determined. I know you talked about it at the beginning of the show.
Yeah. By the market, what's available. The gem guide, they put together this pricing guide by going to the shows and see what people are asking for things. And that's pretty much it. Whatever the market will bear, that varies by the current supply of goods. Like right now, Alexandrite is just absurd high prices. You want to buy a fine 2 karat Alexandrite, let's start talking 50 grand. So much by what's available and market ends up figuring itself out, because many of these stones are just exceedingly rare, and it's not always easy to know what the market is. And that's one reason we go to shows, because you can look at a wide variety of things from a wide variety of people and get a better feel for what things are selling for, and what's available, so there's no great system of figuring out pricing. It's other than just shopping and buying things the best you can, and and you got to make a certain markup, and if it works, that you buy it again at that price, and but the shows are a good place to figure out pricing.
All right. Vicky had asked this question. I think I answered it, and Alice is also in the chat, so she's happy to answer questions. Just for everybody, Vicky wanted to know if she purchased a stone tonight, could we ship it to her just so she could see it, and then have us mount it later. Of course, that's what we do a lot of.
Yep.
So if that's something you want to do.
Yeah, it's the best way, because you'd sure like to know that you love the stone before you mount it. Although we take most of the risk as far as mounting things, you always have recourse with us, and we'll work with you on things. So don't feel that you're at risk. Whatever you do, we'll work the best we can for you. And, you want to design something crazy, we'll be first to tell you that you own this piece and we're not taking it back. But, otherwise we're just real easy to work with. And, it's, and particularly Alice is really great at what she does. And, you'll find her great to work with.
James wanted to know, at what temperature do you normally heat tourmaline at?
Depends on the tourmaline and where it's from. Okay. So that one was 950 Fahrenheit. So, but each source is different. Each type of material is different. So, it's always a risk. That crack that's in there, it wasn't there when it started, and the stone was pretty clean. But that's what happens when you heat. You end up fracturing things, or they don't come out like you expect. And heating's really a crapshoot, and you'd rather not heat stuff. Tanzanite, I pretty much know how to heat it, but you still run into issues that you didn't expect. So,
and last question. Electric Crystals wants to know, is wax better for maybe you meant doping?
Doping.
Yeah.
No, I quit on wax. It was cutting 100-carat Tanzanite, and just the transferring of it and the heat of the wax caused it to fracture on me. So I changed from wax, and I use epoxy, and I have a really good system down for using it, and I find it easier, other than the wait time of letting epoxy seal is the only drawback of it. Otherwise, I prefer it far over wax. I think the seal is better, and no heat involved at all. Because some stones are heat sensitive, and just too much heat, which you do have to warm them up before you use the wax, and just certain stones just don't take it. So.
All right, I know there's more questions. We'll continue answering them later. Please keep on putting them in the chat, and I'm making a list.
All right, what's up next? Holy mackerel!
This one's pretty sweet.
So this is the biggest one I've cut in a while, and I was glad when it was over, because it was a major job for sure. Cutting 1 carat, 2 carat stones is relatively quick and easy. You get into this size, and every facet you cut is like cutting a table. And anybody that cuts know cutting the table is the hardest facet to cut because it's the biggest. And this is all like table facets, every one of them. So every one of them's a little bit of a challenge to polish. Interesting thing on this, if you see that thing right on the girdle there, that was a needle that was in the stone, and I thought it'd be cool to just leave the teeny remnant of it on there, because in the future, if this material was ever made synthetically, that might be something that you could ID it, because that was a crystal shape, and that opening that's left because the crystal came out of it in the polishing, it may still represent the crystal shape of it. So it's in the girdle as a natural, and I just thought it was a cool identification, because just a little bit more cutting and I could have got rid of it and lost another 20 points, but I liked it there. So that's one thing you'll see on this stone. But anyway, so we left this one natural because it's totally unique as a color in a tanzanite. This stone, if you look at it in incandescent, the ends of the stone, this isn't incandescent light, but the ends are pure red, just total red, and the body color is very reddish. This is more daylight. Daylight, it's kind of a mauve, but still the ends are red. It's a color in a natural I've never seen before. Just the body color of this is unique, and the ends, I mean, literally they're just red, the ends of it. So I don't even know what this is going to heat to. I know it's going to be a great color. What the color is, seeing as I've never had a tanzanite like this before, I couldn't tell you what it'll heat to exactly, but it's deep enough color that I know it's going to be a great one. But what will happen on the ends that are totally red? I mean, all those flashes you see on the end of it, I mean, they're just literally sparkly red in an incandescent bulb. So kind of a unique stone. Big face. There's no extra weight in the belly of this gem. So for a 50 carat, it looks like the typical 60, 70 carat tanzanite that are typically cut deeper, you know.
Show it on your hand.
Yep. Sure. So pretty big gem. Yeah. So we'll give it a shot as a natural. And if it makes it to the next show, we'll probably heat it. Yeah, but pretty unique tanzanite. So appraised value of this stone, $64,535. Our online price, $37,500. And with the 15 off, it's $31,875 or $617 a carat. And like I said, the friend that was just there, most of the material that's going in bigger sizes is going for pretty big money. You know, it's been, since we've been there, the availability of tanzanite has been definitely more restricted. There's been a lot less material available and a lot fewer big gems. So cool stone.
Flip it over again. It looked like it was brown.
I wish I had an incandescent. It's back in the office. I don't know if this is worth the effort. Ouch.
So what you guys did, Steve just screwed in an incandescent light bulb into one of his lights.
You know, probably without putting this on another setting, it's just not gonna do what we're hoping it to do. But anyway, trust me, it's red. Unique and monstrous tanzanite. So, you know, and I'm kind of curious about what it heats to. So I'll look forward to doing that too. If it doesn't sell as a natural, I'll be curious to see what its ultimate color is, because it's got to be different than what the typical stone is. I don't know what that'll be, but it'll be fun to find out. And let's move on to the next one, which is another unique tanzanite. This was like the pear shape, but this rough was even lighter. It came out even more of a lavender color. Something on it. Kind of a unique cut, kind of an opposed bar. I don't know, just kind of cut the opposite of what a typical opposed bar is. So this one weighs 5.92 carats. We don't have a price value on this because these colors are just generally non-existent. So there's no way of putting a real appraised price on it. You know, you just But the cut works real nice. Just has an interesting sparkle to it. It's really, really a lively gem. Like I say, just a light lavender color. I don't think I can call it pink. If you can get a pink one this size, then you'd have a $10,000-$15,000 gem. Almost pink, but lavender. Unique cut. Now I remember what I did. So normally an opposed bar would just have a single bar back here, but I kind of split it, which gave it a little more unique look to it.
So did you just come up with this, or did you find this by design?
Nope, just thought, let's try this. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This time it really worked well.
Yeah, it's a cool stone.
Yeah, I like it maybe better than the opposed bars. I don't know. It has more action to it anyway. Sometimes it's just a shape of rough that you go, let's try this. It'll save some weight. But it's hard to find a more lively gem. Just this is 100% brilliant. And a different and unique tanzanite for sure. So our online price of $3,000, and with the 15 off, it's $2,550. Is that right? $592. And wow, $431 a carat, which is maybe too cheap, really.
Max, we decided to censor this gem.
Cool stuff, though. All right, next, another monster. This is one I didn't cut, but wow, what a stone. Really, color-wise, it's as good as it gets. Again, major red flash in it. Not that, red flash is just kind of a cool thing. It almost looks like dispersion in a gem, but it's really not dispersion because there is red in these stones. I don't know where it comes from. It's supposed to be blue, purple, and violet, but sometimes they exhibit red, like the big one I talked about. And this one has really good red flash in it too. It's not showing it quite so much here, but those flashes that are more violet, they're actually good, intense red flash. And you can see the red occasionally through here, but it's all through it. It's really a great stone. Nice shape, big square cushion, 34.75 carats. Praise price of $45,505. Online, $24,000. And with the 15 off, it's $20,400 or $587 a carat. Just really a top gem. Rating of 970 out of 1,000. Totally clean. 55% blue, 45% violet, which that middle color range is probably what I see as being the most desirable, whether it be more blue, more violet. Although there's stones that are totally violet and stones that are totally blue that are incredible gems also. But this is really a color range that will just generally make you happy. All these tanzanites will vary in different lights. So when you go to incandescent, you're going to see a little more violet. You go to daylight, you're going to see more blue.
Steve, you want to show this one the size in your hand?
Sure.
And, everybody, if we forget to show it, feel free to ask, or online, each of these products, we should have a hand showing the size. But don't trust the color on those photos. Just use it for size. The other main photos and the video, you should trust for the color.
Great gem, and I've been looking for bigger ones. I said a friend of mine, he got this in when he was in Tanzania last month, and I'd been looking for a while for bigger stones, and just this is a great one. And a rating of 970. That's for things I don't cut, or it's generally about as high a rating as they get. Although the cutting on this is really, really excellent. Not perfect, but it's excellent. So, all right, next gem up is just a top color garnet. This is sometimes called umbellite. A lot of material out of Mahenge came this color, which this could be Mahenge, but not exactly sure. Not sure if that, I think this is from our trip. But the color is just the best of the best. Weighs 6.68 carat. Really clean for a garnet. And this one's not flawless, but it's near that. Rated VS1, VS2, so it's just very, very minor inclusion in it. But the brilliance is just outstanding. And the color, the color is second to none. This is the kind of garnet you love to own, because in the past, in most of my past in the business, this color's never been available.
So do you see the dispersion in that, and when you're looking at it too, or is the camera enhancing that? I see some blues in there, and
yeah. Well, offhand, I can't tell. I'm sure what you see there will be visible also to your eye, not just to the camera. But really great shape, just outstanding brilliance on it. Price value of $4,010. The online price $24.90, and with the 15% off, the stone is $2,117, $317 a carat. In a garnet, in this color range, it doesn't get better than this. All right, and I think we have another garnet coming up. This was rough we bought in Kenya. This came from Mozambique. A little more to the violet and is often called purple garnet.
Hey, Steve, before you do that, could you put that last up to your hand?
Oh, the garnet?
Yeah.
Sure.
Need handy.
Yeah, we keep forgetting her. Get this straight to the camera. Yeah, oh, that's great ring size. Perfect ring size. All right, so this next one is a 2.55 carat, comes from Mozambique. This color, as I mentioned, was brought out as purple garnet because when you get in the right lights, there's a distinct purple coloration to the body color of it. not sure if we can. Yeah, you can see that it's a little more purple. Yeah, it's just a pretty garnet. There's so many names for garnets these days. Every time they get a little bit different color, they want to throw a name on it just to make it different. But there's just another beautiful gem, 2.55 carats, 590, 970 is the appraised price, 590, and with the 15% off, it is 502 or $197 a carat. And as we've talked about over the past few years, garnets have become very, very important. It started with the Mahenge supply in Tanzania that produced colors that were totally different than anything that had been available before. This came out about that same time. I think Mahenge may have produced some purple garnets. We lose our battery. And then Mozambique was next. It's still on. There we go. So Mahenge was much to do with the price increases, and the prices of garnets probably went up 30 to 50% depending on the color of the particular garnet. Mahenge just produced some lighter colors, particularly the lighter pinks, that previous to that did not exist. There was just a totally new varieties of garnets that made it very, very interesting, and people just started buying garnets. So that's, I didn't even put a name to it. Whatever you call this garnet, it's just a beauty. Yeah. And we bought a nice parcel of this. It's just hard for me to sit down and spend 3 hours cutting a $500 stone. And I guess I'd rather spend 8 hours cutting a $10,000 stone. Comes down to that. But, these are such great colors. If I could find a cutter overseas, we bought about half a kilo of this material and not quite that much. But we bought quite a bit of it, and I'd like to find somebody that could cut it right, and because it just has high value, mounts really nice in rings and pendants, and just has a good life to it and a unique color. So up next, back to my favorite colors. These peachy colors, as you that have been around know that it's some of my favorites. These are much like, this is much like Malaya garnet. And, this is a color in tourmaline that was available, maybe in the early 2000s. They came out of Madagascar. And it was part of the reason I went to Madagascar. They produced this color of tourmaline. And I'd been into Malaya garnets for years because of the color. And this is much like Malaya. I think I lost it, Mike. So this material came out of the Congo. Democratic Republic of Congo, and it came out maybe 6-7 years ago, could be longer, but it hasn't been long, and they produced a lot of great stones. And the unique thing was almost none of them were heated. They came out lighter colors. They came out mostly in light greens, light pinks, and these peach colors. And they produced for 6 or 7 years, and then production dwindled to next to nothing, which is where we're at now. There's also problems in the country that create difficulties in mining. but the production just dropped so dramatically that it's kind of typically what happens in this business. They find material and go in and mine it out, and quick as they find it, it's gone. So hopefully that's not the case, because there was a lot of great stones that came out of this source, including these colors, which to me are special. This is a 12.40 carat. Just a lot of brilliance, and I think this is there's maybe something very minor in it. It's a VS2 rated stone. Don't see it offhand, but extreme brilliance, and a big stone for this color of tourmaline. 12.40 is really a great size. Over here I can see there's a couple of really minor inclusions in it. So praise price of $8,930. Our online price $58.90, and with the 15 off, this stone is $5,007 or $404 a carat. Beautiful gem, beautiful color. The Malaya garnets, which are very reminiscent of this color. Currently, a 12 karat Malaya garnet would be $25,000. If you could find it. My wife has a 10 karat that, as the prices went up, people wouldn't spend the price that I was asking for that garnet. And I finally gave it to my wife, and then the prices at least doubled over that in the next few years. So she has a really special Malaya garnet. But when it comes to this color, these tourmalines are very, very close to what the Malayas are. So up next.
Before we do that,
before we do that, questions? Sure, absolutely. Okay. I didn't show that on the hand either.
Yes, show it on the hand as well. And while everybody's about to answer some questions here, if you do have more questions, you can post them in that chat box. You have to be logged in, I believe, to post there, but a lively session going on there. And also, if you can, Katie's been helping me here. Can you please hit that little thumb button if you're enjoying everything? And if you want notifications about when we release new stones, new pieces of jewelry, or our live shows, make sure to hit that subscribe and hit that bell, and you'll be notified every time that happens. So let me, let's see. And Leo, thanks for joining us. All right. I'm just writing these questions down. I don't recall who they came from, but what does Steve think about blue spinels from Vietnam?
Well, I've never owned one. Hopefully we'll see things like that on this next trip. This will be the trip that we would find such things. So I don't have an opinion. Come to the next show and maybe I'll have a better opinion.
And too much.
I bought, when we were in Africa, I bought this really nice spinel, 4 karat violet colored spinel. But, when I got back, everything seemed right. The refractive index was good for spinel, and it was singly refractive, and I trusted the source. But when I sent it to GIA, it came back as a garnet, which they have overlapping refractive index. They're both singly refractive. But I don't know where that was going, but that was the last spinel I bought. So I'll be a little more careful this trip. And I think, fortunately, there's a good lab that's at the shows. So just get everything tested before we leave. And, most of the things I can test, and most of the things just your eye is good enough. But in that case, spinel and garnet. And this was a color that I had never seen in a garnet. And I still think it probably has value, not the value of a spinel, but it has good value as a garnet. So it's sometimes easy to be confused when you're buying overseas, and and we do make occasional mistakes. So
Okay.
But I'll have better opinion on Spinel. Spinel is definitely one I would look at. The problem with Spinel right now is the prices are just crazy. Hopefully the Vietnam blues, if it's like the what's the top blue color, Mike? Cobalt Spinel. The prices on those are just, it's like Alexandrite. It's just crazy money. So, I won't be coming back with any of those, but hopefully there's some unique colors that we can afford. Same thing happened with Mahenge Spinels, the pinks. They went from, I was selling them for $1,000 a carat. Now you have to get $4,000 or $5,000 a carat. If you're lucky, you want a 3-4 carat stone and they're $5,000, $6,000 a carat for a pink Spinel. You can buy a sapphire as cheap, but that's just the way things go. Things become known and valued, and the price is reflected.
Okay. You must have mentioned something about green beryl being included. Somebody was asking why other colors aren't. Someone asked, or do you mean emeralds? I imagine it has to do with the inclusions which create the color.
What's the question?
Did you say green beryl was often more included than other?
No, not green beryl so much, because green beryl, much like aqua, and does come clearer. Green beryl as an emerald, yes, is generally always included. But green beryls do come cleaner.
Okay, so just you meant emeralds. I think there was some confusion because two different people asked the same type of question.
It depends on the green beryl. The last green beryl I remember was stuff out of Nigeria, which was just amazing. Just kind of just a unique bluish green color and just beautiful gems. And those were pretty clean, but that goes back so many years that I think, Jeff, you were born, but Michael probably wasn't.
All right. Do you use the same diamond powder with each stone polishing?
Yes, I use 50,000 grit diamond, which produces a very, very fine scratch that is not visible. When people do competition cutting, they tend to use 100,000. Some use 200,000. But the length of time it takes to use those powders is restrictive. I originally started with 14,000. I moved up to 50 just to try and be better. But even 14,000 produces a polish that nobody complains about. So 50,000 is been my go-to diamond powder.
Okay, Steve, with all those machines behind you, when you cut, do you stay at one machine or do you jump to another machine?
Well, I currently cut on 2 different machines. I've gone through a lot of them in my lifetime. I currently use the Ultratech V5 here. And it is the machine I generally recommend. Just not only is it a great machine, it's a company that's been around for over 50 years and is likely to be there when you need help, because they're not only into faceting machines, they're into other precision equipment, so they don't rely on faceting machines as their sole support of their business. So the likelihood that they're going to be around to help you is much better than all other machines, which every other machine I've ever used has gone out of business, just because it's a real limited market for faceting machines. I have a Gem Master 2 at home, and I like it very much too. And there's some talk of them, well, they've been trying to rebuild the machine and get it on the market, but hasn't happened to this date. But it's another good machine, and that's what I use at home. But most of my cutting's done here on this Ultratech V5.
All right.
Which, as to mention, we will be featuring a new machine from Ultratech, which is their fantasy machine, which we have a fantasy machine boxed up here, and we will be doing an unboxing here sometime in the near future. And we'll start hopefully fantasy cutting, and should give us a new variety to the gems we cut.
Perfect.
Another Ultratech machine. I mean, they're a really good company. Ultratech is currently what you should buy and not consider any other machine. They're expensive, but all these machines are expensive. But when you look at it, if you want to get into a business, expensive, it's $5,500. What business can you get into so cheap? You're and you become a one-man business as soon as you start cutting. So it seems expensive, and in my past I bought machines for $1,000, $1,500, but just the price of things have gone up so much, and this is the right machine to buy, and you'll be a good cutter in no time with the quality of this machine. Become my competition, which is okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right. There's more questions, but we'll get to them
All
next
right.
time.
So the next stone up is another of these peach-colored tourmalines that came out of Congo. And this one was cut by a cutter that works here, Linda.
Jeffrey, did you get this one online for him? All right, so everybody, if
She
you
did a great job. This is a Portuguese round, which is probably our most popular cut, just because it produces such great brilliance. There's hard to find a more pleasurable brilliance than you do from a round Portuguese, and for the wearer, it's just something you can just look at, and it's just dazzling cut. Yeah.
And for those of you who are just joining us, maybe haven't joined us before, this is a hidden gem. That means before it was hidden, and now Jeffrey revealed it. These are all 25% off, the hidden gems with coupon code RARE25. And yeah, it is a beautiful cut by Linda.
Good job, Linda. So again, from the Congo, supply may be over. And like I said, previous to this color just hasn't been available for 30 years. Just something that came out of Madagascar, then came out of Congo. In between that time, I just really didn't see this color in tourmalines. And these are natural, untreated colors, which for tourmaline, probably 70-80% of all tourmalines are heated, because they start out too dark and heating tends to lighten them up. But these required no heating. Just really, really a great gem. $3,120 is the appraised price. $1,850 is our price online. And with the 25% off, what was this, $658? Yeah. It is $1,388, $211 a carat. That's tough to beat for this quality of tourmaline. A beautiful gem. Somebody should own that one. Yeah. So up next, we're going to have a little feature from Mineral Mike. He's going to show us some crystals. He's got a beautiful collection of crystals on MoreGems.com. Much of the tanzanite is on our other website, tanzanitejewelrydesigns.com. So take it over, Mike. Show us some mineral specimens.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Straight from hell.
Yeah. I'm Mike. You've probably seen me in the corner there. Now I'm big on the big screen. So we thought we'd give Steve a little break and feature some of our mineral specimens on MineralMike.com. So this summer, I started doing some sales, and right now what I've got running on MineralMike.com site-wide is 10% off of anything listed on there. But today I'm going to show you a couple of pyrites from Spain that I just got in. I think they're really cool pieces. The first one is actually one of the largest specimens that I've had from the source. And it is a really cool piece. I'll show it to you. But very big. It's multiple cubic pyrite crystals on.
Those aren't real.
Yeah, that's what everybody said. They're not real, but they are. These haven't been carved, polished, cut, or anything. They come out of the ground just like this. And yeah, it's a matrix piece. You can see they go all the way around. I don't know if I can get it any closer, but this is just, I thought this was just so cool how big it was. And it's in the matrix. So that one's on, right now it's on MoreGems.com. It's also listed on MineralMike.com, but it's 15% off on MoreGems.com with coupon code August. Yes.
Everybody says we can't hear you.
Oh, they can't hear me? Oh, you know what? Well, let me see if I can change that. Well, you're going to get double of me. How about now? You get two mics. I didn't set up the microphone on this other one. Any better, everybody? Let me see if I can see my... Yeah, it looks like my microphone is hot now. So, but you'll have to deal with two of me. So if you didn't hear any of that, that was one of the largest specimens that I've got from this area in Spain. It's just a big matrix piece. Very cool. And it's available on MoreGems.com for 15% off.
Which is $1,673.
Thank you, Stephen. All right. And then the next piece I'm going to show you guys it's not a matrix piece, but it's a really big cluster, which is, they're all intergrown, these pyrite cubes. My green screen is being a little weird, but there's also a video online there. But this is a really cool piece. You can kind of see how they're all kind of just intergrown with each other. So these, if you didn't hear me before, they have not been carved, cut, polished, or anything. They come out of the ground exactly like this, which is just almost unbelievable. You wouldn't. There's so many people that come in and they're like, that's real? Like, no way. You didn't polish those? But it is real, and they do come out of the ground just like that in Spain. So those are two cool pieces that I've got right now. I just got these in last month, I think it was. So these are a couple newer pieces. But I have a lot of pyrites online, including some smaller pieces. So if those two aren't quite in your budget, I've got some really neat smaller pieces as well. And you'll find more of those on MineralMike.com. And they're all 10% off right now. And you may have missed it earlier, but I did mention that right now I've got my summer sale going on. So everything is 10% off site-wide on the MineralMike.com.
So, Jeffrey, you were just in Spain. Why didn't you go look for these pyrite crystals? Could have done a little mining.
I didn't see any of that from that. They didn't even talk about it. Is there what area in Spain is it?
It says it is, I don't know if it's La Roya or Navajun.
Spain's big.
Yeah.
I was only in like 3 cities, so.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But if I was there, I'd be like, those aren't real.
Yeah, I'd like to go to the mine. I think it would be cool. Pull some of those off the wall.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before, but Katie wanted to know about the stone in your ring.
Oh, so that's a spessartite garnet. So weird.
You have yours on, Jeff? No. Oh.
But yeah, Jeffrey has a similar one. Steve and Nancy, they had made them for us for Christmas last year, which is a really nice gift. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I love it.
We didn't realize how much they'd gone up in price before we gave them to you.
But
might have had second thoughts.
Cool mounting. My cousin Christopher Michael did that. Just kind of a real simple mounting, which I like. And I like yellow gold, so it was made in yellow gold.
Nice pieces.
Yeah. And then outside of those 2 pyrite clusters, I am also doing 20% off of all of my tanzanite crystals. So these aren't listed on MoreGems.com. You will have to go to MineralMike.com. But if you use coupon code TANS20, that'll take 20% off any tanzanite crystal. I've got natural colored tanzanite crystals. They're all just as they come from the earth. This one's a little bit of a bigger crystal. And I've got heated crystals, smaller crystals, larger crystals. I've got, there's a lot. There's over 250 on there. This one's been heated. I've actually got a really big one that I'm considering heating in the next, I don't know, week or so. But yeah, if you go on to mineralmike.com, you'll see a lot of neat things, just stuff that hasn't been cut. These are all natural crystals from the earth. This one's kind of cool. It was a little etched away. I don't know if you can see that. And then this is another natural color. Really clean tips on this one. A lot of beautiful things. So yeah, if you want to check out mineralmike.com, I'd appreciate it. And yeah, if you like tanzanite, use coupon code TANS20, and that'll take 20% off any of the tanzanite crystals. So, and that's about it. That's all I've got for my little segment on minerals. So let's get back to the gems, which you've all been here for. And here's Steve.
Where's my segment? I want a segment.
Jeffrey, you'll get your next segment. Yeah.
All right. We're looking forward to our next show with Big and Little Mike. So.
Yeah, I'll fix that microphone next time too. Thanks for letting me know.
All right, next gem up happens to be another tanzanite, a real unique color. This one was a pretty big crystal. You know, I bought these about a year ago, maybe, or a little more than that now. And I bought a nice parcel of them, and it was a good purchase because when we got to Tanzania, they said, yeah, that was a one-time shot, and as quick as it came, it went. So I was glad to get it, and this one had a bigger stone in it, but I really went for the color on this one. You know, One Direction, the color was just better. And so I went after it and still got a 5-carat stone, which is a big stone. So I see we had a sale.
Yeah, this one sold.
Oh.
Talk about it still, but it did sell. A lot of stones sold. We're just trying to catch up here.
Well, I'll.
Yeah, that's a beautiful color. I'm not surprised that this one went.
Yeah, it's to date, it's the finest green that I've cut, and it's the finest green I've seen. You know, I don't know what happened to that, Mike. Didn't do it.
And while we're fixing that up, if you just joined us, or if you have been here, give us that thumbs up below, and then hit that subscribe button to be notified. Again, if you're joining us, all these stones can be found at MoreGems.com. Just go there, click on that green banner. All the stones will be there, and you can use August as the coupon code. It'll take 15% off that price. You can pay with credit card, PayPal, and we also have financing.
Just a little quick look at this gem. It's a really beautiful brilliance, and you know, it's just a very, very clean stone. And this won't have been heated. It'll be natural color. But a beautiful gem. All right, next gem up. Yeah, I got a few tanzanites tonight, but this one, kind of a different cut. I think I've done this cut before, but it just works really well. Emerald cuts can be a little lacking as far as brilliance, and I find that doing this split facet on the back just makes a more interesting gem. This particular one weighs 5.75 carats. It just has a lot of brilliance. It's 40% blue, 60% violet. I gave it a rating of 987 out of 1,000. Just beautiful color, beautiful cut, high clarity, VS1 or better. Appraised value on this one, $6,325. Our price online is $3,730, and with the 15 off, it is $3,171, which is $551 a carat. Make a great ring. I like these longer cuts. Just easy to make a pretty piece in a ring. All right, next stone up is one that Michael cut. This is a zircon, again from our last trip to Kenya. This material is from Tanga in Tanzania. This particular stone, he did heat. I think, did we do a video on heating this one or not?
Yeah, we did. So we put it in the little test tube and did it with just the alcohol burner. Yeah. And we didn't lighten it a ton, but we did lighten it up a little bit.
Yeah, this will lighten up to more of a peach color, kind of more reminiscent of those tourmalines we just showed you recently. So just you heat it and decide where you like it, and Michael decided this was a color that he liked. And I think generally people we've shown it to have agreed.
Thanks, Katie and James. I did really cut this one. Yeah, this one, it was a challenge. I think there was some issues. We ended up cutting the table first because we had some issues.
Why. Yeah.
But I was glad when I finished it.
Yeah, half the stones you cut have issues. I just finished one this morning that while I was finishing the crown, a big chunk of it just popped out. You'll see it in the next show. It's a Potparasha color tanzanite, but it still ended up 1 carat exactly, which I was thrilled. But the big chunk that popped out of it probably cost me 1/4 carat of it. Not a big stone, but a rare color, and so. But
that's why I don't cut.
Yeah, it can be frustrating.
How many stones is this for you now, Mike? Is that? I think Eileen purchased your first one.
Yes, yeah. I don't know where I'm at right now. I mean,
you're a little behind.
I'm a little behind. I know. I've had it. I got a big amethyst sitting on my bench, but it's just
it was supposed to be ready for this show.
It was, yeah. I didn't get to it.
It was going to be beautiful.
It was. It's a trillionth. I've got it all planned, and it'll probably end up being something else. But yeah, next show.
So this is 7.62 carats, appraised value of $2,055. Price online $1,140, and with the 15 off, it is $969 or $127 a carat, which is cheap for a nice zircon. Sorry, Mike. Is this mine or yours?
That's yours.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is rough we bought in Kenya, but comes from Tanga and Tanzania. So I like that material a lot. The material's dense, so you don't quite get as big a size out of it, although this is cut as shallow as you could possibly cut and still be fully brilliant. So you do get a good spread on it. But sometimes zircons are cut deep and they just look small for their weight because they're very, very dense material. Pretty stone. Nice job, Mike. Look at that action. Yeah. You have a future in cutting.
Show the size.
Yeah. You want to ask me before I put it back in the bag?
Sorry.
Again, nice ring size. All right, next up is another zircon. This comes from Malawi. This is pixel cut, as Jordan Wilkins calls it, or as I know it from the past, a posed bar. Posed bar just because the bars are, it's step cut bars opposing. So they run one direction on one side and the other direction on the top. Produces an interesting gem, and this material out of Malawi is just such nice deep color and just a unique color. A fairly recent supply of zircons. Oop. Get it clean here. This particular stone weighs just over 3 carats. Get that. I don't have a stone clock here. Oh, thanks. So appraised value on this $1,530, and I think zircon was actually on the list. The gem guide, they do highlight things that they found have gone up, and fine blue zircon was one that they felt had gone up in the recent past. So they produce the gem guide every 2 months. So this is $790 is our price online, and with the 15 off, it's $672 or $220 a carat. And next up is we have a sale. Thank you, Alexa.
All right. I'm running behind here, so I'm going to go through some here. All right. So Glenna purchased the Portuguese cut tourmaline, the hidden gem.
Oh, cool.
One.
Thanks, Glenna.
All right.
Thank you, Glenna. And let's see. Phil purchased, I believe this is coming up because I know Phil's quick to get the stones he loves, but the faceted pear-shaped opal, 10.45 carat.
Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, that's a cool one.
Martha picked up, this stone may have been on a previous show, but the antique cushion cabochon amylite, 54 carats.
Oh, okay. So it was probably a previous show. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Martha.
Thanks, Martha.
Thank you, Martha.
Oh,
Thank you, Phil.
You can go to previous shows. There are some deals out there still. Martha did find this out. And Eileen purchased, and we have I believe this is an estate piece because we do have an estate sale going on right now. She picked up the yellow gold tourmaline, citrine peridot, and diamond cocktail ring.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we put a lot of estate pieces on.
Yeah.
Thanks to Valerie, who's been working hard at that. And we've been selling a lot of estate.
Right.
I mean, we have a lot of estate jewelry, and it just takes a lot of time to put it on. And We've got a lot of it on there, and right now everything's 20% off. So something worth looking at after the show you get done and feel you need to spend some more money. There's some cool estate pieces on there, and they're really bargains. So
And what is it? Estate 20 is a coupon code? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Estate 20.
So you only can use one coupon code per order, but we offer free shipping, so you can just place 2 orders, use different coupon codes. And finally, Phil also purchased. I know there were 1 or 2 people that actually messaged me that were upset about this. So I think there's one person we're going to reach out, see if we have any more colors like this. But the Berrien style emerald cut fancy mermaid tanzanite
Oh, cool.
at 2.19 carat. I don't think we talked about it yet, but
No, not yet. The emerald cut. Steve, you look confused.
yeah, I'm confused.
I don't think we talked
Fancy
about it.
color?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
mermaid
okay.
color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Phil.
Yeah. That's that was a stone we bought in Tanzania, and I recut it. And I think I heated it. It was kind of a weird color. I'm pretty sure that one's heated, and I recut it. With a situation there. So, all right. Next, we're not ready. Come on, I'm ready to go here.
Ready to go? Well, maybe you'll get this a little bit better this time.
I've totally blown it. More Gems shoppers. Look back to the jewelry department where we're having a blue light special on this 22-inch Cuban link chain. 38 grams of 14 karat solid gold. Regular price of $53.50. 30% off that is, I think, $3,745. So a good chance to invest in some gold. Gold currently about a little over $2,400 an ounce. Will it stop there? Nobody knows. It's been on a slow increase for the last year. I think maybe a year ago it was 1,900. Now we're up to 24. We've hit almost 2,500. So this is just really a beautiful wearable piece of jewelry. If you're thinking about somebody for something nice for Christmas, this would be a nice gift for him or her. It's just a nice wearable piece of jewelry, something you're going to feel on you all the time because it's got a nice weight to it.
It's
1.2 ounces of 14 karat gold.
Same chain I wear, which is, I wear it every day. Steve's right. It's solid. It feels good when you wear it. And I'm not worried about it or anything. I mean, it's a strong chain.
Yeah, something to last lifetimes. All right, next is
it's another hidden gem,
hidden
Jeffrey.
gem.
Hidden gems.
Hidden gems.
Hidden gem. All right.
Blue zircon, some of our favorites. These make great accent stones for a center stone. We've done tanzanite with this. I'm trying to think. We've done multiple colors that used blue zircons as accents. I think one of the nicest was peridot, actually. The combination of those two colors really great together. And these are nice sizes to do that, whether it be in a pendant or a ring, or these can be on their own, a ring and a pendant or a pair of earrings. So many things you can do with these. They're just beautiful colors. This slightly greenish blue color is unique in the business. These actually came from Cambodia. We're getting material both from Malawi and Cambodia right now. The Cambodian material is well priced. And these are just a beautiful match pair. VS1 clarity. The total weight is 4.25 carats, so a little over 2 carats a piece. The regular normal price is $1,920. Our online price $850, and with the 15% off or 25% off, they're $672. No, that's wrong ones. $638 or $150 a carat. Just really, really a lovely pair of stones. We bought quite a few pairs. It was probably the only reason I have these out, because I had plans on designing for these. Just a bit of time issue for us. So put them out here and offer them to you people for a good price, and hopefully we can make up something for you. Blue zircon from Cambodia.
Now on Steve's floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I need a big bib just to catch all the stuff that I drop. All right. Up next is another sapphire. This is really nice sapphire. Comes from Nigeria. I believe this one's natural. I have to look on the site to make sure about that.
I think that it did say it
Was natural.
Not heated.
Yeah. So carat 73 from Nigeria. Nigeria's produced some really, really nice sapphires. It's a place I'd like to go, but it's a little more dangerous place for a person like me to go. Jeffrey hasn't been there, so must be too dangerous for him because he goes anywhere. Yeah.
Where's that? Nigeria?
Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not on my list.
Yeah. What's the who's the terrorist group there? Once they keep nabbing the children from schools and yeah. It's the
A lot of countries. I like going to Nairobi or Madagascar, like you've been. Some countries
yeah, those are relatively safe. Yeah. Especially when we compare to Chicago and yeah. I don't think could be, but that doesn't sound right. Boko Haram. Bad people. Although the Nigerians I know say, oh, no problem, it's safe to go. But yeah. And some of the, Nigerians are really, really tall people, generally. They're big, big people. The first Nigerian I got to know, Double O was his name, because you couldn't pronounce his names. Both started with O, and he must have been 6'6" and 340 pounds, just a big, big guy. And the other Nigerians I met were just very tall people. So, but anyway, this carat 73 comes from Nigeria. I cut it into this square cushion. VS1 clarity to the stone. Praise value of $2,400. Our online price $1,380. And with the 15% off, this stone is $1,173 or $678 a carat. Just a pretty, pretty stone. Of course, sapphire, its advantage is its toughness. Just a very, very tough stone. Tougher than diamond. Not quite as hard, but the next hardest when it comes to gems to a diamond. So just a real wearable piece. You want a nice engagement ring, something you can wear the rest of your life. This is the right stone. Pretty blue-green. And would make a nice ring size. So cut the depth of the cut, it's a relatively shallow cut. So no extra weight in the pavilion. So you do get a nice size appearance. Beautiful sapphire. And probably half the price of what you pay for Montana sapphires these days. And most Montanas are heated. This one's natural, so it really has a lot going for it.
Eileen was wondering if there's any blue to that stone.
Yeah. I don't know what it does in daylight. I don't know if it changes as much in daylight as the Montanas do. But a lot of blue in it. It's pretty much. Yeah, I don't know. Of course, it's more green, but every light here I look at, it definitely has a significant component of blue. And in incandescent, a little stronger blue. So yes, definitely. I did show it on the end. Nice stone. And I was thrilled the weight that I ended up getting out of it. Sapphire can be pretty challenging to cut, when they're clean like this one, less challenge. And the nice thing, they're easy to polish. It's just a pleasure polishing them. As long as you pre-polish them well, they're pretty easy to polish. Up next is an ametrine bicolor quartz. This one I did notice that there is a chip on the culet, but I'll take care of that before I send it out. I can't believe I got through photography and didn't even see it, but it was there when I photographed it, and so just on the culet, just a little chip on there. You can see it. Again, not difficult to fix. It's kind of a pain, and probably just dropped it on something hard, and it's right on that culet edge, so. But this is a cut that works really well for this material. Probably the ideal cut for ametrines, particularly the ones that are split 50-50. It just works real well. It shows the color variation just very dramatically. And I just like this material. I think it's underpriced for what it is. It has one single source in the world that produces this quality of material, and that's in Bolivia. And for something unique like this, and it's still, I don't know what it ends up, $40-some a carat. This one weighs 25.58 carats. Our price online is $10.20, and so it's $867, $34 a carat. For a bicolor stone, there's not another bicolor you can buy that's this kind of price. Just a cool stone. The action works well, ring or pendant. Probably more interesting as a ring. You get to look at it, but pretty big ring. The action as a pendant's probably not quite as good. But definitely one of my favorite gems. I like these, and I like the ones, if I get lucky to find a good strong piece with mixed color that you can separate out. We've done a few of those that worked out real well. Just hard to find really, really good intense material in the ametrine. And up next is another tanzanite. This one worked out real well. And another one with intense red flash. So it weighs 8.71 carats. And all that red you see, that's just that red flash characteristic. And this one excels for sure. And this cut worked out real well. You know, when you cut these fancy cuts, you're never quite sure whether you're going to get full brilliance out of them. Sometimes the tips don't work. So I've made sure that there's some things I do that, I avoid. There's just some characteristics that when you cut some of these shapes, like pear shapes and things that come to a point, the tips end up being overly dark and not brilliant. So there are things I've done to try and avoid that, and this one worked out really well. You know, it's just fully brilliant, and this one just the red flash is extraordinary, as you can see just from looking at it here. Yeah, and the life of the stone. You know, still a good size for a ring. So appraised value of $10,450. Our online price is $47.90. And with the 15 off, it's $4,072. Is that right?
I don't have a calculator.
It just seems too cheap.
Price on that?
What's that?
Wrong price.
I gotta think so.
And while we're waiting, everybody.
What's that?
No, just talking to everybody.
Yeah, there's some issue with it.
Okay.
Yep.
Well,
We get some pricing issues every once in a while.
we'll adjust it and
Yes.
Yeah, the starting price is not right. Oh, sorry about that. Because the starting price should be about $6.50 a carat.
what's that make it?
Makes it, is that weight right? 8.71. Makes it about $56.60. $48.
So 56.60 is the actual price.
Yeah.
So typo there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what. So,
Sale price be $48.11.
would be what?
$48.11. 15% off of
Yeah.
$56.60. It's updated.
Let's say the best I can do is 4,600 on this stone. It's just a great stone, and there's an error here somehow. Just the starting price is incorrect. So a little better than what's on as a sale price, but the stone rating is almost perfect. Yeah. So a 987 out of 1,000. So if you're interested in the stone, let us know, and we'll 4,600 is the best I can do on this stone. But still, it's a great price. Which is $528 a carat. Sorry about that. What's next?
We want to.
Who's next?
So we answer some questions.
Okay.
Let's cut in real quick here.
Well, I just made the next hidden gem live. So
I'll work on it while Dad's.
All right. The next hidden gem is a marquee pink sapphire.
Jeffrey wanted to answer some questions.
Oh.
Because we're loading it up, let's just answer. Katie had one question.
All
She
right.
asked before.
Okay.
So, what are the costs associated? You talked about, I think, when you sent in that spinel to get tested. She wanted to know what the costs were that are associated with testing a gem.
Well, to send a GIA, it's typically about $100 for the ID. If you want sourcing, like on sapphire or ruby or emerald, it costs maybe $50 more. And then you've got shipping back and forth. So you're going to insure it, and so you got $30-$40 each way. So typically you're $150 to $250 to get a stone certified by GIA.
Okay. Hopefully, Katie, that answers your question. This was from
And anybody can ship to GIA. Anybody can have a stone done.
Okay. What is the difference between fluorite and amethyst?
Well, there's no similarities. The difference, what is the difference? One's a silicate and the other is fluoride. I don't know what fluoride is the chemical formula, but fluorite is soft, fluorite cleaves, fluorite's a different crystal system. Amethyst is a type of quartz, much tougher, much harder. Fluorite maybe has a hardness of 4.5, or quartz is a 7. So everything's different about it. Fluorite is very difficult to cut. I've cut a few, but not an easy stone to cut. And quartz is a difficult stone to polish. So, they both have difficulties, but fluorite just presents so many more problems. But it can cut to be a beautiful stone. So, but not wearable. You could never put a fluorite in a ring and ever expect to wear it. I think we've made pendants out of fluorite, but that's still difficult to set and a lot of risks involved. So everything about fluorite is different than quartz. There's nothing similar.
Sometimes they're both purple.
Sometimes they're both purple. There you go. Yeah, that's true.
Katie kind of was a little bit more specific, but at gem shows, what's like the process for testing a stone?
Well, just like at Hong Kong, there's GRS lab is there, and you can just drop your stone off, hopefully, and pick it up later that day. Would be nice. I don't know what their policy is there, but when you go to Tucson, GIA is out there, and you can have stones tested. But at most shows, in general, you're on your own. You hopefully can test your own material, because can't always expect labs. And when we go to foreign countries, you are more trusting your own abilities, and hopefully you've got some testing equipment with you. But there's always risks buying, but not like the risks of buying on Etsy or which the things you see out there just.
I'm still fighting eBay, because someone came in think a customer noticed it, copied all of our pictures, put them on eBay for like $30, $50, say they're real tanzanite, and eBay just is giving us a hard time because they're not trademarked. And it's like, so you're allowing the sale of fake goods, saying
I mean, they
tanzanite.
should be responsible. I mean, it's ridiculous that they can allow people to put stuff out there that's so bogus, that they're just out there cheating people. And, I feel sorry for the people I see that buy things from people that I know are just selling all fake stuff, and they come back and say, oh, it was just as described. And yeah, you can go buying that $10,000 Podparasha sapphire for $195, just crazy stuff. But it's all buyer beware, wherever you buy, we can only trust ourselves. And, there is a lot of trust in this business. And once you start dealing with people, you do trust that they know what they're doing. And generally they get it right, but we all can make mistakes, so just one of those things you have to be very, very careful, and having things tested is often the best way to protect yourself.
Cutting question. So I saw one cutter using cerium oxide suspended in water in a spray bottle on a solid tin lap for polishing quartz. Do you know if the same thing with 50K diamond powder suspended in water on a butt lap for other stones? Butt lap. It's getting late.
Well, the diamond's not suspended in water. It's suspended in something else, but usually alcohol or some kind of oil, or, but the cerium, I don't think it works well on a tin lap. There are other laps, Dark Side lap, that's made by the same company. It makes Bat lap. I haven't found a good lap for using cerium for quartz. I still use Spectra laps, which have their downside. They don't make a perfectly flat facet, but they do give you a really good polish. So it's something I've used, and I use today on an opal, with cerium oxide, and so I do use cerium oxide also for quartz and opals. Did that answer the question? Okay.
All right, Jeffrey.
Get one of those butt laps.
Yeah. Get you one for your birthday.
Anyway. A bat lap is a really good lap. I recommend it highly, but
I don't know what
laps,
that butt
I haven't
lap
tried
is.
butt laps.
I don't know what you're using over there, Jeffrey.
What kind of polish you use on a butt lap?
All right. So next is the Hidden Gem. Again, for those just joining us, Hidden Gems are 25% off. It was just loaded up to MoreGems.com. So if you go to MoreGems.com, click on that green banner. It's going to show all the stones for tonight. And this new Hidden Gem should show up at the top now. And if you were already there, just hit refresh and you'll see it there.
So this one has a long story too. I bought this in Madagascar back in 2004 or something like that. Bought the rough, cut it, and I heated it to about 2,000 degrees, and it totally etched the surface of the stone. So it's been sitting around for 10 years at least. And I finally sat down to repolish the whole stone, because hunting, and because it was fully cut when I heated it, and the heating worked real well, but destroying the polish, it's a pretty major job to go back and find every facet and polish every facet individually, because once it's off the dop, the original dop, things don't line up anymore. So it's a challenge going back and recutting it, although it ended up not being too bad a job. And it was a good job, but it wasn't too difficult. So this stone has been around for a long time. Came from Ilakaka in Madagascar, which I have some videos online of Ilakaka and some pictures of the mine. But anyway, this is a 2-carat 24, originally cut by my brother. I repolished the stone completely. Weighs 224, and good, really good clarity on the stone, good brilliance. Appraised value of $5,380. $2,240 is the online price, and with 25 off, this stone is $1,680 or $750 a carat. So 2 carats, a good magic number for sapphire. They do get more valuable as you get over 2 carat. And whoop. And I think this is showing it a little more purple than it is. It's a little definitely pinker than this, but nice lively stone, nice little marquee. So Ilakaka was the major producer from probably 2000 to maybe 2010. It still produces sapphires, but not like it was then. In the late 1990s, it changed the whole sapphire market. Nobody knew they were coming from Madagascar. All the Sri Lankans were there, and they were promoting the material as being Sri Lankan. Just because Sri Lanka was bringing the most money of sapphires in the world. And they didn't want people knowing that there was a new source. But a friend of mine, Tom Cushman, he talked me into coming to Madagascar back in the early 2000s when this material was being produced, and the prices of sapphires were really good at that time. So a nice sapphire.
And you bought this rough out there when you're out there?
Yeah.
Did you guys buy it out of that parcel you and Jim bought?
Yeah, one me and Jim split. I should talk to his son, see if he still has the other half of the parcel. Put that in my notes, because we split the parcel, and I don't know what he did with his half. But Madagascar produced a lot of fine pinks and a lot of really great blues. So nice pink sapphire.
And were these all heated? Like when you, or were these natural colors?
No, I still have rough that's not heated.
Yeah, lighter, or what color was it to start?
It's different.
Yeah.
I don't. We have some online that are not heated.
Okay.
And the value in the guide of not heated is like double what heated is for pinks. So, nice sapphire for really a good price for pink. Because I know what's the appraised price on here? $5,380. I know it appraised high, and if it were unheated, it'd probably appraise at $9,000 or some crazy number. But heating does improve the color, so that's why you do it. So next stone up is another fancy tanzanite. This came from the parcel of stones that we've talked about, and I still have probably another 20, 30 stones to cut from this parcel. Just glad to have it because, as they told us there, it was there and gone, So, and before this, the greens that people talked about were from back in the 1990s, and then from then till just recently, there just wasn't green. It just wasn't something that was available. So it is very, very sporadic production. And this is a nice gem, nice mix of blue and green. Looks a lot like many of the Montana sapphires. And this is natural, unheated color. I think we've heated a few of these greens, and they came out interesting colors. But again, more real value as natural if they're beautiful. And this is really a beautiful gem. So it weighs 1.61 carats. Again, there's no appraised price because there's nothing to compare to. These are some of those stones that you get once, and there's very few out there to compare to, so they don't establish an appraised price. So our online price is $970, and with the 15% off, what is this? 161. It is $825 or $512 a carat. So these fancy zoysites or fancy tanzanites, whatever you want to call them, are just really exceedingly rare gems. Up next is rhodolite garnet. This is just a really nice rhodolite. It's not an umbellite, not a mahenge garnet. So therefore, it doesn't get the $300-400 a carat price that those stones get, but still really a beautiful rhodolite. Weighs 8.88 carats. And still has that nice violet red to it. Praise price of $2,400. Our online price is $1,090, and 15% off that, it is $927 or $104 a carat, which for a garnet these days is very reasonably priced. And in general, every light you go to will be prettier than it's showing right now. It's just a really nice stone, a little more violet than what I'm seeing here. Definitely, it's a very attractive stone. Oops, sorry.
Looks like we've got a sale.
All right. That's a new sale. Sold? It's a new sale picture you have there.
You like that?
I don't remember what the last one was. It's
yeah,
very colorful.
A little different. This one we got confetti and smoke.
Okay.
Yeah, I changed it up.
Michael's getting pretty creative.
Yes. Vicky, who's been pretty active on the channel, has purchased the fancy tanzanite 1.61 carat barian style.
Oh, cool.
That's cool.
Sweet.
Color on that one.
Yeah, thanks, Vicky.
So another good ring size. All right. And this is another pretty special tanzanite.
Yeah, I think somebody early on in the show was asking about this one, whether you had cut this or not.
Yeah, I did. So it's an interesting pavilion. Not a complete Portuguese. It's got a complete Portuguese crown. So this cut just really worked well. And the amount of red in this is just off the charts. I mean, all that you see, it doesn't appear as intense red as it actually is red, but it's just everywhere in the stone. Yeah, it's crazy.
Should have called this the Red Flash Show, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know why all this material that I cut this time had so much red flash in it, but this one is ridiculous, and the brilliance on the stone is ridiculous. I gotta keep track of this cut. So basically, it's like a Portuguese pavilion, but just short of. Well, it's got 1, 2, 3 rows, and the typical Portuguese pavilion has 5 rows. But this one worked remarkably well. It's remarkably brilliant. I don't think you could find a more brilliant round. And the good thing, when you go to set it, it doesn't have that deep, deep pavilion of what a full Portuguese has.
You want to see it to your hand.
So it's 10 millimeter, which typically 10 millimeter is 6 to at least 6 carat. Cool gem though. Yeah. I don't think this one's, it's got a few inclusions in it, but nothing, completely eye clean. Nothing visible to the naked eye. Don't exactly remember what was in it, but even from the back, it's hard to find. But really, the red flash is just insane. So it's appraised value of $5,320, $3,000 less the 15% is $2,550, or right at $550 a carat. Our next gem is a citrine that comes from Uruguay. Which we were told that this material would be around forever, but forever went away quickly because the citrines from Uruguay have been difficult to find.
Yeah, when's the last time we actually seen some decent rough? It's been a long time.
I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah. Remember that guy saying he could supply us for 300 years?
Maybe he supplied somebody. Took one out to the market. I don't know.
Yeah. But really beautiful colors, just and this one weighs 21.88 carats. It's a Barian style emerald cut. And most of these citrines are heated amethyst is where they come from. High clarity, VS1 clarity on this, appraised value of $1,675. $1,090 is our online price. And with 15 off, it's $927 or $42 a carat. Pretty big ring, but we've made them this big. Good pendant. I find this is a really good cut for this material. It shows off the color well and gives you a lot of brilliance. And next gem is another hidden gem.
Jeffrey, are you awake back there?
All right, I'm
Getting
getting
this
it loaded
hidden
up
gem?
now.
Loading it up. Everybody
All right.
who's looking for a nice mint garnet, start refreshing that page.
Yeah, start refreshing that page. Go to MoreGems.com. Click on that green banner. Go to that section with all the stones that we're selling tonight. Refresh it. It'll show up, and 25% off with coupon code RARE25.
Also, I have a secret. There is one more hidden gem left.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't put it. I didn't have enough numbers. So there is one more hidden gem coming.
Is there? Well, this is a nice one. Marilani mint garnet is a byproduct of the tanzanite mining and very, very sporadic production. And right now there is little or no production. Which was the case when we were there in Tanzania. The value of Marilani mint garnet had gone up significantly because there was no material available. Did we see any? I don't think we saw any.
I don't think so. Just
Saverites. So this one weighs a carat 64. Very high clarity. These garnets usually have something in it, but this VS1 clarity, appraised value of $3,040. Our online price is $1,850, and with the 25% off, it's $1,388 or $846 a carat. Just really a lovely gem. Make a nice accent stone for a nice pendant or a good center stone. I mean, it's big enough for a center stone. Just very popular material that has always been very sporadic in production. I don't know much else that's this color. I can't say I've ever seen green beryl this color. No. Maybe, I don't know if there's, I can't think of tourmalines. Tourmaline close, but really a pretty unique color. And the brilliance you get from a garnet is extraordinary.
Nice cut on it, Stephen.
Thanks. Yeah, it worked well. Step cuts are hard to beat. As far as brilliance, they produce just a really great brilliance. So really nice gem. They're priced similar now to what Saverite. I think Saverite's still a little more than this per carat. But they've gotten pretty comparable to what Saverite prices are. I think carat 64 Saverite prices, probably 1,000, 1,500 a carat. So it's in that same range. Next one we don't have to show. Well, we'll show it anyway. And this is what I was actually working on today, is another faceted opal. Just they produce a unique gem. Just the unique look when you finish them. And this one's kind of red on one side and more green on the other.
Steve loves to stare at all the colors in the opals.
Opals drive me nuts.
It's his favorite part of the show.
It's easy to get lost in them. They just have so many different colors and such intensity that you wish other gems had the intensity. There's the Marilani mint garnet, and there's a rubellite, and there's a yellow sapphire. They just have it all. And this material, front and back, is typically just pretty remarkable colors. Anyway. And I did just a quick, I made some notes. I went through the new gem guide, and things that had gone up in price included orange sapphire, Potparasha sapphire, pink and rubellite tourmalines, blue zircon, and emeralds. And usually the prices that have gone up are really the top quality goods. So those are some notable stones that had gone up in the last pricing guide. All right, next gem is another Portuguese cut tourmaline. This is another really fine one. And this particular one, I cut this one. This one weighs 4.49 carats. Appraised price of $2,100, $1,680 is the price online, and with the 15 off, it's $1,428 or $318 a carat. Just fabulous color.
Full Portuguese.
Full Portuguese. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Yeah, this one's 161 facet, which doesn't include the faceted girdle. I don't know why we don't add those to the facets, but with that it'd be 177. Extra 16 facets. Another beautiful gem, untreated, natural color. Hopefully we'll see more. You know, this is a color I constantly look for, and I've bought every good piece I've seen.
The one that Linda cut, is this Eileen?
Same cut.
Same material?
Yeah, same material. You know, I think this one's a little deeper color, you know, but both of them were beautiful gems.
Was this from that single crystal that you cut the other piece from, or you still got a piece of rough?
The big piece was, I don't know what the other half of that, the 12 carat was, I don't know what I cut from the other half, whether it was, could have been this, because I know one of them was smaller.
Yeah, because
I think maybe it was this stone.
Right. It's a nice crystal, but
now
it's two nice gems.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a pretty big crystal. I don't know what it weighed, 50, 60 carats. I'm not sure. Had some issues and would have cut a really big stone if I'd have cut on the longer axis, you know, the shape kind of like a pencil. And but the color was better down the C axis, which is the smaller part of the crystal. So I cut it in half and cut two gems out of it. But they're really special colors.
Colleen wanted to know, do we have any more amethysts from Rwanda coming?
I'm not sure. I have some pieces. Maybe, you know, but the stuff from Bahia, Brazil, the best of them look as good as Rwanda. I mean, maybe I cut a Rwanda that was better than anything I've seen, but in general, the Rwanda material, the best of the Bahia has cut some stones that could have fooled me. They were Rwanda. And I think the one Michael's cutting is one of those that's going to have special color. But I think I have Rwanda rough, but Rwanda also produced, there was two different sources, and and one was better than the other. And I may have a bigger crystal yet that's from the better source. But sometimes when they're, the rough is just a little bit dark, and you have to heat it, and then becomes the risks that it's not going to be as good a stone as it would have been natural. So I think that's what's held me up from cutting the one piece of the original Rwanda material I have. We have a sale.
Yes. We've got Roger purchased the 21.88 carats emerald cut citrine.
Citrine, cool.
That's a cool color too.
Nice. Yeah. Thanks, Roger. That's a cool stone.
Yeah, I like citrines. I just don't cut them often because they're a bear to polish, and and the price per carat is not the greatest. So you spend a lot of time cutting for not a huge reward, but I do like to cut them occasionally just to have that variety, because they do produce a beautiful, beautiful gem. Yeah. But they take a long time to polish. Yeah, it's typically half again as much as what other gems take to polish, the time-wise. All right, up next.
Before we go to the next stone, you know what time it is.
It's the blue light special time. Just another reminder of our special in the jewelry department, our blue light special on this 22-inch Cuban link chain. We just think it's just a nice gift for somebody, is why we've thrown it into the show, and just offer a good price on it. And, because it's just a real wearable piece. If you've got a boyfriend, a husband, that would like a nice chain, this would make a great Christmas gift for them. Something that they will appreciate and they'll have forever. So praise, or not the praise value. Our typical price on this would be $53.50, and we're taking 30% off on it, and it's brings it down to $3,745. I think is what the price ends up. It is 38 grams or 1.2, a little over, almost 1.25 ounces of 14 karat gold. This is yours, Michael. Yeah. So nice clasp on it, big lobster, which makes it much easier to use. Cuban link, which is probably, I would guess it's the most popular men's link. But it's a very tight link, so they end up weighing a lot. Which weight's a good thing because it makes it durable. This is something that you're not going to have to fix forever. There's just no wearing this chain out. 22-inch, so it's good for most men. And it works on women also. I don't think the link's too big for a woman to wear, and a men, it's big enough that they feel manly. So, isn't that how you feel, Mike?
So manly. Man's true.
So it's chain, yeah. And I think it's a good buy, and something that particularly a guy is really going to appreciate owning. All right, moving on from our blue light special. All right, here's a peridot that is another
hidden gem.
Hidden gem.
Jeffrey,
it,
sleeping over there.
I made it a hidden gem, particularly because, there's no hiding the needles in these. These are Ludwigite needles, but when you look at it, it won't photograph. It's just impossible to photograph this gem. But when you look at it, those needles are difficult to see. When it's in your hand and just looking at it, they don't show up like they do in the picture. And this is a big gem for a peridot, really a great color, that bluish green color that comes from Pakistan. And it's just a nice bright stone, but we knew it wouldn't photograph well. So we put it on special and hopefully can move it, because it is a beautiful gem, and for a peridot, just a big rock. In this color, that's just the typical inclusion you see in them, is those Ludwigite needles. So it weighs 13.14 carat. Appraised value is $6,560, $29.95. So it's $22.46. So about $170 a carat. Just a nice peridot from Pakistan. But there's a lot of gems that, we don't show, particularly because you can't video them. Emerald is another one that, never photographs well. Inclusions in these cameras and the bright lights, they just don't work well together. So most rubies don't work well. It's just hard to find rubies and emeralds that are completely clean, that are going to sell online, just because the ones that are affordable, or in the case of emeralds, most of them all are moderately included, and that makes photographing and showing them difficult. But always in hand, these stones always look much better.
Show what it looks like on your hand. Big gem.
Yeah, big peridot. Which we have some big peridots and some great ones. Some that just the new stuff out of Tanzania, the go-go peridot, and also some other Pakistani material. And, we've just done really well with peridot, and just have managed to find some great colors that are not that yellowish green, so typical of what people dislike about peridot. And if you look at Mineral Mike's got some amazing peridot specimens.
Yeah, I've actually been selling a few lately. People have been picking up some really nice ones. I just boxed up a couple really gemmy ones.
Big that you have. Yeah.
And one just sold today with the really cool Ludwigite crystals in it, which just kind of go through it, give it that really neat look. They're those black, real sharp kind of needles in there. So that was a really cool crystal that went out too. But yeah, if you're interested, take a look at them. They're some of my favorites for sure. And everything is 10% off right now on mineralmike.com. No coupon code needed. Just head on over there, and once you add it to the cart, it'll take 10% off that listed price.
All right. Oh, we lost our camera again.
Oh, the battery must have went out of it.
You think?
Yeah, no battery. I'll get us a new one. So go ahead and get started on that.
All right. So here's another, the Congo. Oh, it says Afghanistan.
Yeah, that was what it was listed as.
Okay. So here's a not Congo tourmaline, but really beautiful, beautiful color. Afghanistan produces some of the finest peridot in the world, for sure. This one weighs 3.61 carats. Appraised price of $21.85. Our online price is $14.90. And with the 15 off, this particular stone is 1,428 carats, or $318 a carat. I think. Yep. Are you back?
We're back.
All right. So mostly blue-green in color. Nice brilliance, nice clarity. Just a very, very nice peridot. Be a nice peridot, but tourmaline. No Ludwigite inclusions included.
Look like on the hand.
Almost like a Marilani mint, but not quite. Okay. How's the questions there, Jeff? Yeah? Yeah.
Number a few. Let's see. So when you're about to cut a stone, do you study the rough, or how do you determine what shape or what type of cut to make that stone based on the rough?
Well, you study the rough, you take out what is no good to you, what you know has to come out of it. And then you look at it again and see what shape it looks like and see what direction you should cut it for color is always a consideration. And once you decided that, I generally preform as much as I can. And preforming is just taking out the stuff that you know is useless. The bumps in the rough that are not going to do you any good, that you're sure that they're a problem. And you cut that out and see what's left and then determine what you're going to cut out of it. And lately I've been working more towards cutting even more so for brilliance and sacrificing weight just to get the most brilliant stone possible, so and that comes down to past knowledge of what cuts become more brilliant. Yield is important, but the brilliance of the stone and the color of the stone are ultimately the things you have to make you decide what you're going to cut out of a stone. So, cut out what's no good, look at what's left, and make your best determination.
And Michael, do you find yourself doing the same thing since you're a beginner cutter? So the rough that you get, are you looking to Dad for advice on what to cut, or how are you determining?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the times, or I'm assuming Steve was probably, I wasn't paying attention, I was doing something else, but whatever, the biggest stone you can get out of it. Sometimes, like, there's a couple of pieces of opal rough that I cut one because there's this certain banding in it that I wanted to keep in there. So I probably sacrificed more weight to get that banding where I wanted it. But otherwise, most of the time, we're cutting whatever's the largest stone that's in there and looking for that.
Okay. And
but I do, look for advice from Dad for sure. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No. And a follow-up to that was, so like when we were in Tanzania last year and buying rough, you're kind of on the spot, whether, looking at that rough, are you able to determine at that time that, okay, I'm going to do this with it? Or is it, this rough is beautiful, I'll figure it out when I get home?
Yeah, more so that.
The latter?
Yeah, as long as you know the depth's great enough to cut a stone, and each piece you don't sit there and determine what you're going to cut out of it, or
we're just looking
while you're looking at the rough. You just
making sure it's clean enough. There's no hidden, inclusions in there that you don't want to find later, and
which I do need to make myself concerned about what shape it's going to cut, because so often, these roughs they'll cut longer length to width, and, that is generally tougher to get a better looking stone out of it, so looking for things that are more one-to-one proportions is more ideal, but you can't pass up a great piece of rough just because its shape is not perfect. Although there's a few that I should have passed up. If you get stuck into just looking at the color, or, and not thinking about ultimately what it's going to cut, you get some stones that just don't have the life that you'd like to get just because of their length of width is too long, or, they just don't cut the right shape. You end up cutting a dark pear shape or something that just has no brilliance at the tip. So it's always consideration, what the shape is it's going to end up. And it depends whether you're looking at a parcel of rough or an individual stone, whether you look closer at the ultimate cut that you're going to do. Okay. It should always be in your mind what you're going to cut out of it. But
all right. Another question was, which we could probably all answer to this, but how many trips? I think originally her question was, how many trips have you taken abroad total in your lifetime for gem hunting? And now how many is it? I believe it's what we do, 2 a year. Usually Tucson and then some other kind of big trip.
This for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's been years I haven't gone anywhere, but then, there was times when I was going 2-3 times a year overseas. So, I would like to travel more, but, sometimes you get so backed up on material that you buy. You have a good successful trip, and just like what we bought in Tanzania, I've got enough to keep me busy for the next 3 or 4 years cutting, which I'm trying to get better at producing more, not collecting so much rough. But it's always fun to own great rough because it's there one day, just so many things like those green tanzanites, the lavender tanzanites we just got. The likelihood they're ever going to be there again is questionable in my lifetime. So you try and buy what you can and, cut it as you can.
Delilah, I'm not sure if not sure if I totally understand the question, but when storing, like making a story about your gems, do you separate them, example, rough from gems to recut? Not sure exactly, no. I don't know if it's telling the story behind, like, this was a rough stone and then it was cut by Steve, or not cut, or did we recut it? If you can be a little more specific, Delilah, I'll happy to answer for the buyers out there that are on the fence about purchasing tonight, if you said one or two stones that like you feel that someone should buy these, I mean, I know everybody's got their own favorites and everything, but you're like, oh man, this is a good deal. Someone's got to pick these up.
Well, that 6 carat 88 umbellite, the carat 73 sapphire. Oh, there's so many.
Yeah, I really like the Portuguese cut tourmalines, those peachy pink ones. I really like those.
Yeah. And all the tanzanites tonight are just spectacular. It's tough choices. And even that ametrine. I mean, just a really special stone. Once I clean up the culet of it,
Yeah, there really was some good ones.
Yeah, there's some great stones.
All those opposed bar ones you did are really nice. Just the way, the action of them all, and even the lighter color ones, like the zircon, the blue zircon, really good action. I mean, it's a reasonably priced stone. The tanzanite, that light colored lavender tanzanite, that one had some really good action to it. And like you said, that ametrine.
Yeah, it'd be easier for me to pick the stones that I thought, I wouldn't buy that. And there's not many of those, but that's a tough question. I'm really, really happy with everything I cut this time. It was just a good couple of months of cutting, and there just are some great stones in the bunch.
The trip that's coming up, is there any stone that you're hoping to find?
Variety. I mean, love to find some more spessartite garnets, and of course sapphires, fancy sapphires. I assume we'll have success with. Spinel. I don't have much hope for Spinel. I think they're just out of the price range. And hopefully see something different and unique. Like Michael said, the Madagascar faceted rainbow moonstone. Be interesting to see more of that. See if that actually is a viable source. That there's material. I just hope to see something I haven't seen for a while. Just some variety, and sapphire would be an important one there. More garnets. I mean, garnets I'm into. And the nice thing about there is sometimes, like me, they're behind on what they're cutting, and what was rough of a year or 2 or 3 years ago is just getting out into the market because they're just getting it cut, and that's the kind of things you hope you see some things that are currently not available, but available there just because of the time required for cutting. Just hopefully see some good prices on things, because typically Asia is well priced and works close, and we'll find some good buys on some really gem quality material.
All right. So Delilah and a few people have corrected me. Yeah, storying, I guess I think about that because we've talked about making a better story behind the stones, but she actually meant storing. So how do you store stones by rough, by finished stone, by the type of material it is, by the ones that need a recut versus are done? How do you keep track of everything?
I asked my wife about that. My system is not very good. Slightly organized, and I do have rough separated by type of material. But my organization is definitely not the best. That's why you see a few stones tonight that I went back and actually went into the stones that needed recutting and found 2 of them that were in the show tonight. And, I just haven't looked in there for a long time. And there's some nice tanzanites in there need recutting, and just getting around to, there's only so much time in a day. But, my organization is pretty damn poor, for sure.
All right. I can vouch for that. Hopefully that answers
my
that
wife
question.
will agree with that for sure.
And I know there's still some people watching. And again, all these stones are available, and the discount runs until the next show. Tomorrow, I will be sending out a mass email to our whole list, and that usually gets a lot of people buying that didn't watch the show tonight. So
and we do have how many followers?
I know there's a lot. Well, yeah, a lot of email goes out to a lot of people. Yeah. So, so if there's something you like, I would jump on it before probably mid-morning tomorrow. Also, you can call us tomorrow if the stone's still available. You can do layaway, and what is it? 20% down up to 6 months.
6 months to pay.
Yeah, so that is possible. You just have to call us, which you can do tomorrow morning. So otherwise, again, credit card, PayPal, and we have financing online. Last question I'll take is what has, this has come up a couple times over the years. What has been your most favorite gem that you've ever cut?
Favorite gem?
Has it changed since that monster morganite that you cut the?
Yeah, that's got to be it. Yeah, that morganite we just cut, and just a comment on that. So many people ask, you started 750 carat and only got a 300 carat out of it. And they think, wow, what a waste of material. I just threw it away. Why didn't you cut pieces off it? But that stone yielded about 40% maybe. But the average yield on material is, if I get 50% of the stone I started with, that piece of rough looked like the stone I finished. So most pieces of rough, you're lucky, you probably average between 30% yield and 45% yield. So if the stone weighed 100 carat to start with, you're going to generally get a 40 carat out of it if you're lucky. So, it's just a lot of loss in material. But that morganite is one of those that just to look at it, it is just an amazing stone, and just something that size, that much brilliance, that beautiful a color. It currently is my favorite. I mean, there's been many stones in the past that I've cut that I really, really loved. There was a tanzanite that cut 100 carat that was extraordinary. It was actually an opposed bar with a barian back. I called it a barbarian. And it was just, the color was just extraordinary, but there's just many, many stones. But currently that trillion cut morganite, which you can see the whole video of the cutting of it, is special in my heart currently. So.
Okay. Good question.
And we had a sale.
Yes. Glenna purchased the Marilani Mint Garnet.
All right, cool.
Gem.
Oh, nice.
Right,
cool
color.
Thanks, Glenna.
That's special. Thanks, Glenna. So I wanted to mention coming up here shortly is Alice will be doing Alice in Gemland, where we're featuring finished product that we've produced. And when's that coming, Mike?
So this one is going to be, I think it's 2 weeks from now. Don't quote me on that. It might be a week from now. I think it might be the 14th.
I think it's 20. Is it 14th?
Oh, maybe not. It could be the 21st. I think it may be 2 weeks, but it's on our YouTube channel. It should be on there.
I'll link to it.
And this is going to be the first one that we're doing live. So before they were pre-recorded, but she's going live this time. So if you all want to join her, ask her questions about gems and jewelry. She is a graduate gemologist, so she does know quite a bit, and she knows her stuff. So she'll be showing, like Steve said, a lot of our new pieces. I'll probably be there. I won't be on camera. I'll be behind the scenes, kind of making sure everything runs smoothly. And I think Valerie may join her as well as the chat moderator. So they'll kind of have that show going.
Yeah, and I added the link to the chat. If you click through it, you just hit that notify me button, and you'll be notified when that show begins. So, yeah, outside of that, I think we
Pretty much
great
did.
show, and yeah, thank you everybody for watching.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was another great show. So thanks for all for coming.
All right, folks, remember, shop online at MoreGems.com. We want to, what was that about? We want to thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to get alerts when we go live. Also, check out the video links at the bottom of this stream. That's going to do it for us tonight. I'm Steve Moriarty. Keep on gemming.